Hey, Mammaw. Happy 91st birthday to you.
Thank you, darling.
And who has called you or sent you cards? Do you remember? Do you have your list there?
Oh, well, I got them from all my children. And also, and my granddaughters, let's see, you and Kathy, and I don't believe I got one from the other grand. But anyway, I just love you all, and I'm proud you're here with me. If I am, hop hop. Okay.
Where did we go yesterday?
Oh, we went to Octagon Cemetery. They went up there. Robin and Kathy took me, and Kathy put out the flowers, and I didn't even have to go in there. I knew she knew where to go. She did it before, and so I enjoyed that. And then we met up with a Mac Barkley, one of my uncles. He was his grandson. Anyway, it was Victor's boy. But anyway, it was real nice, and we had a good evening, a good drive, and then we came home. And we were all tired, but we rested looking at television before we went to bed.
And we went to your grandmother, Miss Molly's house?
Oh, yeah, where I saw the tree that I played under when I was a little bitty girl. And it's a lot different now, but it's still the same old oak right there. And everything looked good.
And there was a well over there?
No, it was a well. There's two wells. One a cistern and one a well where Grandmama used to put her, had a cooler that she put her buttermilk down in, and kept it just like a refrigerator would. That was in the days before people had a way to keep the food inside.
And what was your grandmother's name? It was Mary Elizabeth Barkley. And she was a Hill, right, before she was married?
Yeah, she was.
And what did she do in Octagon?
Oh, she doctored people. She'd get up at midnight, anybody come and get her, and they needed to deliver a baby or fix a child's sickness if they had whooping cough. And she made hot tea off of a tree, and then that's what did it. And she put Vicks safe on his chest when they had pneumonia.
And she delivered babies?
Oh, yeah, she delivered me and my twin. And when the doctor got there, he looked down, he said, wow, it's two of them, huh? And my daddy had to pay double. He had to pay $150. It was $75 each. But anyway, that in those days, when I was born, that's what you paid a doctor. And he had to go get him in a buggy on muddy roads. It was every bit of maybe 10 miles. I don't know exactly, from London.
Uh-huh. And he didn't even deliver you. Your grandmother,
yeah,
Mary Elizabeth, they called her Miss Molly. She delivered you.
Yeah, she had it done when he got there, and he just cleared his throat. She said, two of them, ain't it? Yeah, he charged for charge too. And little Dotsy died when she was 21 months old, and I've gone through life with an emptiness in the back of my head. I can't explain it, but it is there. And I know I'll see her in heaven in Noah.
Mm-hmm. And Big Mom will be up there, your mother,
yeah.
Mary Lenore, and everybody called her what?
All of the family will be there. I love everybody, everyone.
And your mother was Mary Lenore, and they called her Miss Nora?
Yeah, they called her Nora, yeah.
Uh-huh. And when she would get to talking, and her husband, Papa Nat, would tell her what when she wouldn't stop talking?
You cut the buck, Nora. Cut the buck.
Now, when you were a little girl and you were raised in Octagon, right, when you were little?
Well, I was about 12, 14 when we moved up on the highway from there, and they called it Moss Hill, about 6 miles out of London. It was a nice little community, and we went to school at London. They had a bus that picked us up.
But before that, Octagon had their own school, and you went...
Yes, they had their own school, a big school, up to the 11th grade. And then we had a nice post office and a grocery store. And a lot of people were up and down those roads. But now, they're just a few. They've left and gone to do better, I guess.
Uh-huh. And then now, when you were a little girl, who was your friend's name that lived up the road from you? What was
Inez Henson, and I called her Sis. all the time.
And you would go up and play with her. And what kind of things would you guys do when you were little? Do you remember?
Oh, we played doll and cut out paper dolls and done all kinds of things like that that do children now don't do.
Huh.
But anyhow, we had a lot of fun together. And when she died, it was so pitiful. Just a few years ago, about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, she died. And she had some black man cleaning up a place, yards, and he put her in that pile of trash and burned her. But they got her in time. She was not living, but she was dead. But they fixed her and buried her. And that home is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway.
And then you went on to Linden, and you went to high school in Linden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you kept in touch with everybody in Octagon and everything that you had known.
Oh yes, Cause down there we had big dinners on the ground. We had 2 churches, Methodist and Baptist. We went to the Baptist. I'm a Baptist till I die. When you get ready for me, I'll still be a Baptist.
And then you married Charles Perkins, and you guys were in Linden, and that's where you raised your children?
Yeah, the oldest 2 were Betty and Buddy, and then we moved to Thomasville when Phyllis was 5, and Patty was 7, and Mike was 9.
Mm-hmm. And now you live in this same house. You moved in this house in 1963.
Yeah, that's right.
And
the Lord helped me to raise them, and they are good children, all 3 of them. And the first 2 already was grown, but they are good, and they still come home.
Did you ever meet Miss Molly's, brothers and sisters or anything? Did they live around there, do you know?
I remember her brother. I used to go with her to see him, and his name was Johnny, Uncle Johnny.
And you don't remember the names of the other ones, that maybe her other brothers or sisters?
No, that's the only one I knew.
And you never met her mother, right? Your great-grandmother had passed away already?
No, she's passed away.
Lucinda?
Uh-huh.
And so you never met her?
Her name was Lucinda Black, and she married Hill.
John Roche Hill.
Yeah. And he was killed in the war.
Right. And now your grandfather, Barkley, no, your Big Mama's father what was his name?
Charles Webster.
Charles Webster Barkley, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember his brothers or sisters, or?
No, I didn't.
No. And what did he do for a living?
Well, he had a small farm, but he always kept busy and raised vegetables too. And
you said one time, a long time ago, you said that he made coffins?
Oh, yes, he had a shop. And he made coffins. Back in those days, people weren't able to didn't have no funeral apartments to go to, and you have to go to church to have your funeral. And he made the caskets, and my mama, Mary Nola, anyway, she sewed, and she sewed for everybody, real cheap. I mean cheap. But she just always sewed it for a living, and then she would make the linings for the caskets, and she put something in them for them to lay down. I mean, to put up under them. But she finished it up after Grandpa made them.
And she sewed all your clothes too when you were little?
Oh yeah, she made all of my clothes. I had more clothes than I've had in my life. I had a scrap. I was real little. And so she maybe wanted people would leave what they had left from making theirs, and they didn't want it. Mama just sewed it up, and a lot of times she took it and made quilts.
And everybody thought that you were the little skinny one, right? You were little bitty and skinny and sickly and.
Oh no, I wasn't sickly. Dotsie was sickly. She's the one that died at 21, and I come out feet form. Grandma said she liked to never deliver me, but she did. And I stayed with her a lot, and I never stopped staying with her until one night. I was real small. I don't remember exactly, but I was sleeping with Grandmama across the road from where we lived, and I was crying, and I had dreamed my mama died, and they had to take me home. And anyway, I never did stay until after I got married. When I got married, first time I ever stayed away from Mama at night.
And that tree in front of, we went over to Mary Elizabeth, Miss Molly's house up the road in Octagon. I got up the road from the cemetery, and there was a big old tree there, and you said you climbed it when you were a little girl?
No, I played under it.
You played under it?
I didn't dare, but she wouldn't let me climb.
Oh, I thought you said you climbed it. Did Buck or Amrit climb it, or do you remember?
I imagine they did.
Yeah. And Amrit was a lot older than you, right?
He was our oldest brother.
Who were your siblings in the order that they were born? It was Amrit was the oldest?
Amrit and Margaret Elizabeth, her name was Margaret Elizabeth, and Earlene.
What was her name? Earlene?
Exa Earlene.
Exa Earlene.
And then Dotson Messiah. And Buck was, his name is Rudolph Pete. Rudolph Pete. And then Amrit was the oldest. Daddy was sick and in the hospital, so a tree hit him, and it made him amnesia. He wasn't, but he just stayed in home, and he stayed in a place until they got nursing homes fixed, and they put him in a nursing home. He wasn't no trouble to nobody ever.
Yeah. Well, Mammaw, I hope you have a happy birthday today.
What? After you and Kathy? That's good. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your stories with us again.
Okay.
I love you.
I tell the truth like it is.
That's for sure.
I love each and every one of you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.